Picture this. You are sprinting toward the finish line, heart hammering like a jackhammer in your chest, legs burning, lungs doing their best impression of a busted accordion, and just when you think you've got nothing left, your body unleashes its secret weapon. No, not turbojets. Sweat. Yes, that glorious, glistening, often misunderstood liquid that soaks your shirt and makes your eyebrows feel like slippery little waterfalls. But what exactly is sweat? Why does it happen? And why does it pour out at the worst possible times, like when you're giving a presentation or trying to impress a date? Let's take a deep, sweaty dive into the fascinating science behind sweating. Your body is basically running its own internal heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system. The sprint towards sweat. Sweating might seem like a nuisance, but it's actually a life-saving adaptation. When you are pushing yourself during exercise or doing something equally extreme like trying to open a tightly sealed pickle jar, your muscles kick into high gear. They start crying out for energy, which the body provides through a process called cellular respiration. Think of cellular respiration like your body's version of a tiny power plant. It takes glucose, sugar, and oxygen and transforms them into ATP, or adenosine triphosphate, which is basically the money your body spends to get stuff done. This energy production mostly happens inside the mitochondria, those powerhouse organelles that every high school biology student learns to love and fear. When your muscles are working overtime, mitochondria work like caffeine-fueled interns, churning out ATP with wild abandon. But just like an overworked laptop, your muscles generate heat in the process. And this heat can't just stick around unless you want to risk becoming a human baked potato. Your internal thermostat. Your body is not about to let you overheat like an old laptop. And that's where the hypothalamus steps in. This tiny, peanut-sized part of your brain acts as your internal thermostat. When it detects a rise in body temperature, thanks to heat-sensitive receptors all over your body, it kicks into gear. First, it sends out a flurry of electrical signals via your sympathetic nervous system, not sirens, but fast, silent instructions. These messages target your sweat glands, which are scattered across your skin like built-in sprinklers. They are especially concentrated on your palms, soles, and scalp, great for cooling you down, even if it sometimes makes you look like you're stressed out or running a marathon in your mind. A closer look at the sweat gland. Sweat glands are fascinating little structures. Each one has a coiled base deep in your skin and a duct leading to the surface. When it's time to get your drip on, these glands get to work inside the coil. Cells start pumping out sodium and chloride ions, a fancy way of saying salt. This salty mix makes the inside of the tube saltier than the surrounding area, which pulls water in through a process called osmosis. That forms what's called primary sweat, basically a salty water cocktail ready to hit the road. Before this sweat reaches your skin, though, the body tries to reclaim as much salt as it can, because it's thrifty like that. By the time the fluid reaches your skin's surface, it's mostly water, though. If you've ever tasted your own sweat, admit it, we all have. You know it's still got a bit of that savory zing. Evaporation nation. Now comes the magic trick. As the water in your sweat evaporates, it pulls heat away from your body. This process, known as evaporative cooling, is your body's built-in AC system, silent, portable, and unfortunately, very moist. When sweat sits on your skin and turns into vapor, it uses up energy in the form of heat, helping lower your core temperature. It's so effective that marathon runners can lose up to 2 to 3 liters of sweat per hour. Our early ancestors used this ability to literally run animals to exhaustion, a hunting strategy called persistence hunting. Meanwhile, other mammals had to stop and pant, like they just ran a 5K in a fur coat. So yes, the next time you look like you have just crawled out of a swimming pool after jogging, remember, you're not gross, you're evolution's finely tuned, sweat-powered endurance machine. Sweat happens, even when you're not moving. Let's be honest, breaking a sweat doesn't just happen during workouts. Spicy food, stress, and even sickness can all flip your internal sprinkler system on, and each one comes with its own sweaty backstory. Spicy food sweats happen thanks to capsaicin, the fiery chemical in hot peppers that hijacks your temperature receptors. It convinces your brain you're overheating, so your body starts sweating to cool you down, even though you're not actually hot, just very gullible at a cellular level. Then there's stress sweat, the kind that shows up right before a presentation, a blind date, or during high-stakes parallel parking. When you are anxious, adrenaline kicks in, boosting your heart rate, heating you up, and telling your sweat glands to get to work. Bonus discomfort. This type of sweat comes from apocrine glands, which release a thicker, smellier sweat because clearly, being stressed wasn't humiliating enough already. When your body turns up the heat. When you're sick, especially with a fever, your body cranks up the heat like it's trying to steam clean your insides. Fevers are often triggered by pyrogens, chemicals released by your immune system that signal the hypothalamus to raise your body temp. Why? Because many viruses and bacteria can't replicate well at higher temperatures, so your body turns into a temporary sauna to flush them out. It's like turning up the thermostat to evict unwanted guests. But once the battle winds down, your hypothalamus shifts gears and initiates cooling. Cue the sweat storm. Your body floods your skin with sweat to bring your temperature back to baseline, making you feel like you ran a triathlon from your bed to the couch. Bonus. This is usually when you realize you're out of clean pajamas. Hydration station. Of course, all this sweating comes with a cost. Along with heat, you're losing water and electrolytes, sodium, potassium, calcium that are vital for muscle function, nerve signals, and keeping your heart from turning into a confused metronome. Even mild dehydration can cause headaches, dizziness, and a mood that screams, "Do not approach." Lose over 2% of your body weight in fluids, and your performance in cognitive function can take a nosedive. That post-workout thirst isn't just a craving, it's your body waving a tiny, desperate flag. So, refill your fluids like you mean it. And yes, while your fancy electrolyte drink may look like a sponsorship opportunity, it's actually helping your cells not riot. Sweat like you mean it. So, the next time you're sweating buckets, whether you're running a marathon, downing jalapeno nachos, or nervously waiting for a text back, just remember, sweat is your body's silent superhero. It cools you down, helps fight illness, and lets you chase goals and buses without collapsing into a molten heap. And let's be honest, while it might not be glamorous, sweating is proof that your body knows exactly what it's doing. It's got systems upon systems in place to keep you from overheating, even if that means turning your t-shirt into a sponge. So go ahead, embrace the sweat, revel in it, wear it like a badge of honor, because behind every bead of sweat is a complex, brilliant symphony of biology, evolution, and just a little bit of salty science magic. And hey, if all else fails, invest in good deodorant. And that's the steamy science behind why we sweat, from outrunning a cheetah to surviving ghost peppers and job interviews. If you enjoyed this deep dive into your body's salty survival system, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Until next time, stay curious, stay hydrated, and embrace the sweat.